Today I'm sharing 3 easy meal ideas, all made from one rotisserie chicken. I just got back from my local Walmart marketplace where they seem to always have clearance rotisserie chickens hiding in a corner back by the deli. I managed to snag one of these for just $3.22, so I thought it would be fun to do my own spin on making the most of one of these chickens. I'm going to make one lunch and 2 dinners, plus I'll throw in a bonus blue and white dessert for the holiday. The other chicken will feed my kitties on the cheap for the upcoming week. First up is my go-to curried chicken salad. It's a no-fail, and I'll be using that as the proteins to top an Asian broccoli slaw, which I'll show you later in the video. This curried chicken has a ton of flavor and comes together quickly with just a few ingredients that you can of course swap out to your own desire. It weighs in at 36 ounces, which includes the bones of course. I cut off one chicken breast, which weighs in at 7.7 ounces, and with the other ingredients it will come up to about 4 servings total. I've made this salad before on my channel, so I'll cut to the chase. I chopped up all the other ingredients and tossed them in this bowl, and I'll add the chopped chicken along with about 1/3 cup of mayo, and of course you mix that to your own desire of wetness. We finally have quasi-sunny weather, and I'll be heading out to the beach shortly, so I'll take one portion of this salad with me in a protein wrap for my lunch at the beach. I'll put a slice of Swiss cheese on there along with some of these broccoli sprouts. And I like to put it on parchment paper for easier handling at the beach. I also picked up a bag of red, white, and blue chips at Sprouts yesterday, and those will go with the wrap perfectly. I am looking forward to eating this after a big beach walk. The beach is my happy place, you guys, and the weather turned out perfectly by the water. But back in town, it looked pretty questionable, and I got rained on the way home. I did my weekly Sprouts clearance veg run yesterday knowing I wanted to go to the beach, and I managed to find a $1.25 salad kit that I think will work perfect for the broccoli slaw I want to make. Because I'm making a broccoli slaw salad, which calls for its own type of dressing, etc., I'll only be using the salad from this kit, and I'll save these toppings and the dressing it came with for something else down the road. This is one of my favorite summer salads. It has a ton of flavor and it holds up really well for 3 to 4 days in the fridge. There are just a couple of steps to this Asian broccoli slaw salad. First, break up the ramen noodles. I use a kitchen mallet and set the little seasoning packet aside. Then you melt the butter in a skillet, throw in the ramen, the sliced almonds, and your sunflower seeds, and cook it over medium-high until the noodles turn slightly golden brown. Then set that aside and let it cool off. Then mix up your dressing using one of the seasoning packets from the ramen, along with all of the other ingredients, which I'll put up on the screen here, and give that a good whisk. Now you can make this dressing with 0-calorie sweetener if you prefer, which I'm doing here. I think it tastes a little better with the real sugar, of course, but it is still tasty with the golden monk fruit or whatever you like. Toss the broccoli slaw into a big bowl, or salad kit in this case. I'm adding extra shredded carrots to bulk up the salad a little bit. Combine all of the ingredients and give it a good toss. I've divided the salad into 3 Tupperwares along with the rest of the curried chicken, and that will be enough for the short July 4th work week. Next up, I'm making red, white, and blue pizza. Now you can shortcut this by buying store-made dough, of course, but I made my own, and while that's raising, I'm going to get busy and chop up the veggies and the chicken. I'll be dividing the remainder of the chicken between the pizza and the third dish that I'll be making later in the video. Now I'm going to chop up a red pepper and a red onion, and I'll throw those in the oven at 350 for about 20 minutes. I'm giving the pizza pan a good spray, and while the veggies are roasting, I'll get the chicken chopped and toss it with the barbecue sauce. I'll set that aside and cover it with some plastic wrap. By the time I get the pizza dough rolled out, the veggies will be close to coming out of the oven. I'm going to bump up the oven temperature to 425 And then I'll pre-bake the crust for about 10 minutes because I like it crispy. Now for the fun part, I'm going to make this a 2-in-1 pizza. I'll use this Laughing Cow garlic and herb cheese as the sauce for the veggie side. If you haven't tried this hack yet for pizza, I highly recommend it. It adds a ton of flavor and a good cheesy taste without a lot of extra cheese. The other half of the pizza will be a red, white, and blue barbecue chicken, and I spread a thin smear of barbecue sauce on that side. I like to put a little olive oil around the rim of the pizza and garlic salt on the edges. And I also will add some Italian seasoning on just the veggie side of the pizza. I'm going to get the chicken put on the barbecue side, which is about 14 ounces of chicken. So that's going to be a good amount of protein on each slice. And now I'm going to put red pepper on the veggie side only. And then the whole pizza will get the roasted red onions. The barbecue side is getting a generous sprinkle of blue cheese crumbles, and the veggie side is getting the last of this bag of a mixed Italian shredded cheese, and I'll put a little bit on the barbecue side as well. So this beauty is going back in the oven for another 10 to 12 minutes. Here's the finished red, white, and blue pizza. Can't wait to dive into this. It looks delicious. For the third dish, I am making a new-to-me recipe, spicy Thai chicken veggie noodles, and I think that sounds amazing. And I will, of course, put a link to all of the recipes down below. So let's get started. I picked this recipe because I have all of the ingredients on hand. I have about 15 ounces left of the rotisserie chicken. It's mostly thigh meat, some leftover steamed broccoli, a yellow onion, yellow pepper, and mushrooms that have been rolling in my freezer too long, and garlic. I'm making a couple minor swaps to this recipe. I'm using spaghetti noodles instead of rice noodles because I feel like they'll hold up in the refrigerator better for 3 or 4 days. And I'm going to let these cook for about 10 minutes while I get busy on the other ingredients. I'm going to mix up the sauce and set that aside before I start cooking the veggies because this dish comes together fast at the end. The recipe calls for red chili paste. I don't have any, so I'm going to use a few red pepper flakes. Sriracha that it calls for, some tomato paste, and soy sauce. The recipe does not call for peanut butter, but I like that in a Thai dish. And I'm also adding 1 cup of homemade chicken broth that I thawed out. Now I'm going to give this a good whisk around and set that aside while I work on the veggies. I'm using a yellow onion in the veggie stir fry instead of the green onions it calls for because I think that will add more flavor. And I'll use the green onions as a topper for finishing the dish. Now I've got all my veggies in the pan. This recipe comes together fairly quickly, and you can shortcut it even more by buying a bag of frozen peppers and onions instead of chopping up fresh ones. I don't think it would really matter much in the flavor in this dish. Using the rotisserie chicken also speeds things up, of course, which I'll add after these veggies have sauteed for about 5 minutes. I love a good Asian dish, and I've never made this one. I'm not sure why. So in goes the chicken. I'm going to give that a stir around, and then I'll add the already cooked broccoli and give that a stir. Now I'm going to add a whole bunch of garlic, probably double what the recipe calls for because I really like garlic. More stirring to combine these ingredients, and then I'm going to add the sauce. This sauce does not call for a cornstarch to thicken it. And I'm going to give this a good mix around and start adding the noodles. I'll add about half of the noodles and give that a mix around just to see how much sauce I have. And depending on how much is left in the pan, I may add some more of those noodles. But you know how that is. Pasta soaks up sauce. And it will also be sitting in the fridge for 2 or 3 days, so I don't want to use too many noodles. It was saucy enough that I decided to add just one more small handful. So I'm going to give this a toss and this dish is done. I'm going to plate this up, top it with those green onions I chopped up earlier, and a few sesame seeds. I love this little bottle that I picked up at the Dollar Tree. It works so well for sprinkling sesame seeds. Now for the best part, I'm going to give this a taste test. I do wish after the fact that I had chopped the noodles in half before I cooked them because it was hard to get these on a fork, so I went with the spoon method. This tastes terrific. Nice and savory. I put 2 heaping tablespoons of the peanut butter powder in the sauce, and next time I'll use 4 or 5. Now on to dessert. Blueberries have been on sale in my area for the past month, so I had to snap up a bunch. I put a few in the freezer, throw them on my yogurt bowls most days of the week, but I decided I wanted to make a yummy dessert for the 4th of July. I'm trying a new recipe, you guys. I have never made blueberry bars before, and I'm assuming that blueberries are on sale all across the United States. Here in Florida, I've been picking them up for around $1.99 a pint. So I'm making this recipe. Of course, I'm cutting it in half, and I'll probably end up taking a lot of it to the office with me tomorrow. I didn't want to make you watch me do all of the flour and the sugar and yada yada. I will put a link to this recipe down below. So what I have here is this crumb mixture, serves as both the base and the topping, which I like. You just put half on the bottom and half on the top. Then you mix the blueberries with cornstarch, sugar, and some lemon juice. Dump those on the base. Now I'm going to throw these crumbs on top. This recipe comes together so fast. Now she's going in the oven at 350 for 38 to 42 minutes. You guys, these bars are so delicious. I should have made this with swerve because I am not going to be able to stay out of this. And there's all total about a cup of sugar in here. Those are going to have to go to the office because I'm not going to stay out of them. Now you could put raspberries in here, and officially it would be red, white, and blue. Either way, we're celebrating. We're celebrating being free and having food. Thank you all for stopping by today. I hope you enjoyed this video and maybe have an idea or two on what to do with your next rotisserie chicken. Take care, and I will see you all on the next one.